AD heart got broken, but at least she was crying in a Rolls Royce. Clay mother is the moment, and I stand, but just a little bit, not too much. And Chelsea got exactly what she unintentionally wanted, disowned. And well, cheers to the only happy couple, Amy and Johnny. I'm not going to hold y'all. I am only here to talk about AD and Clay because let's be honest, Dysfunctional 1 and Dysfunctional 2 gave us a whole lot to dissect. But congrats to Amy and Johnny. And well, Chelsea and Jimmy, yeah, no comment. So before I get into this review, y'all already know what to do. Like this video, comment your thoughts because I know y'all already have them. And of course, hit that subscribe button and join the queen, baby. Jumping straight into it, Clay is a joke. That's it. Thank you for coming. That's my TED Talk. No, but seriously, from the moment he got out of that truck and walked into that barn, I just knew he was about to be on some BS, and he did not disappoint. So let's break this down, because Clay knew he did not want to marry AD way before they walked down the aisle. And I hate when people like him on shows like this hit us with the, oh, I didn't know what I was going to do or say until I was in the moment, because that is complete bullshit. Like, let's be for real here. Men usually know immediately when they are going to marry a woman or when a woman is the one for him. Yes, there is a buildup, but guys know quicker than what they showcase or what they let on. So I feel it's the same with not wanting to marry someone. You know, and Clay knew he did not want to marry AD. And I feel like AD insecurities coupled with her passive aggressiveness with Clay kept her in the blind through this entire process. He was literally telling her, don't say yes to me, in so many words, and her ass still said yes. Just nutty and embarrassing as hell if you ask me. For one, he claimed to be a mama's boy, and I was confused because I always thought mama's boys defended their mothers, not go on cheating escapades with their dad so that he can eventually hurt and damage everything the mother built. I don't know, dawg. That just don't scream mama's boy to me, but you know, I digress. Oh, and before I keep going, let me get this random tidbit off my chest. So when AD said I do and Clay said a whole lot of nothing before saying he didn't, I could not help but notice that one of the eyelashes on AD was hanging for dear life. That really irritated me because she looked so good, but those close-up shots were not doing her justice. I feel like her makeup artist needs to give her her money back because it's that girl wedding day, so nothing should be out of place. And if this man is going to tell her he doesn't want to marry her, she needs to look so good that his chest will cave in knowing that he's going to miss out on a top-tier good-looking woman, period. And I hate to even bring up looks when it comes to AD and Clay because we all know that's all Clay cared about. But someone had to say something about that eyelash, and I guess it had to be me. Baby. And let's stay on the looks topic for a second or two. So as soon as AD walked down the aisle and got to Clay, the first thing this fool said was, okay, body. Not, oh, baby, you look beautiful. Nothing like that. Just, okay, body. And her goofy ass talking about something, you see the material. Actually, girl, no, he doesn't see the material. He only see your body, Bookie, okay? And then the moment he did acknowledge something other than her body, that boy gonna talk about something, yeah, you got that shit on. Like, excuse me, sir? This is a couture wedding gown, and you will address it as such. The hell wrong with him? You got that on. Boy, if you don't go on. Now, don't get me wrong. It's clear as day that's their dynamic and how they act and talk to each other. But that also showed me the friendship fun side of their relationship, but not the lovey-dovey, I'm in awe with this woman side. And once again, letting me know he was not going to marry her. Like, man, the signs were ringing like a fucking school bell. So after acknowledging each other, AD said, you know, I do, or she did. And it was time for Clay to, you know, give his response. And Lord knows he pissed me off. He pissed me off real bad. If Clay doesn't do anything, he will get under my skin because he is a well-spoken guy, but he knows how to talk in circles that will have you thinking like, damn, he's spitting game. When really, it's all bullshit. Like, if you really listen and read through everything he's saying, he ain't saying nothing. But he speaks very well. Like, you can tell he's a smart young man. You can see that. So moving on, he proceeds to say out of his mouth, I don't think it's responsible for me to say I do, and I still need work and still need to get to a point where I am 100%. But we all love a but I'm still rocking with you. Y'all, I literally had to pause the screen and look at his face in silence because it was clear as day, all day, he was playing in our face, trying to act like he is being amicable about the situation on some, it's not you, it's me mess. But you are a fraud, a liar, a con, sir, and there's nothing you can say to save face. First off, you would never be 100% for a person. You are a human. You are not supposed to be perfect, and that's okay. And that's okay. And that's okay. I'm about to say, and that's okay again. And that's okay, because you clearly was good enough for AD, but clearly she wasn't good enough for you, and you couldn't own up to that. Literally, all the words he was spewing made me cringe so bad. And honey, AD is a better woman than me, because I would have laid him out in front of everyone, because what you're not going to do is play me in front of all these people and not keep it real. You're not about to do that to me. Yes, she knew there was a chance of him saying no, but I feel like this was different because he knew and we knew too. Because in the midst of him being open and honest with her during their time together, he was always saying, I'm not ready. Like it felt like he was screaming it. And Clay has this persona where he acts like he is putting it all out there on the table as truthfully and honestly as he possibly can, and yet it all seems like it's lies. But I won't put it all on him, because AD played herself as well. Because like I said earlier, the signs were there and they were bright red, and she still went along with it to boost her ego or just to get married. With whatever her mindset was, that's what was going on. And I feel like she genuinely did put, her all into the experiment, but she was being so naive to the point that it was a problem for me as a viewer and someone rooting for her, that she just couldn't get past like what she was getting from him. Now, when it was time for my girl to leave after all that mess, I love how she, started to walk away from him, and his mama stopped and hugged her, because I just know in his mama head, I just know she was thinking, this motherfucker just ain't just like his daddy. Like, he ain't like it, just like him. Like, who raised him? His damn daddy. I just know it because he was dead ass wrong, and she may not say it out loud, but I just know she was thinking it. She had to. If not, I was thinking it for her. And I can't lie, I almost shedded a tear for AD, because that was a lot, and it was sad and embarrassing and all the things. Like, it was just real bad. It's like I've seen all the seasons of this show and seen many people tell their partner no at the altar, yet this one low-key saddened me way more than expected, even with me already having the gut feeling that Clay was going to say no at the altar. But then I got online to see a video of her at some game night with Clay having the time of their life. And this is why we gotta mind our business. Because if a wanna be a fool in love, we gotta let them be a fool in love, okay? I'm just glad the tears that I wanted to shed for her, I'm glad one drip did not drop. Drippity, drippity, drop. Moving on with the episode, I have to say that I liked how real and genuine AD was in the scene with her friends and family expressing herself. I just wish the little girls wasn't around at that specific time, because AD started saying she wasn't enough and she's never good enough and things of that nature. And although those emotions are very real and genuine, I just feel like the little girls around shouldn't be a witness to that type of pick me, why not me antics, because when they get older, they might end up in a situation where they feel like, they feel the same way. And let's be clear, little black girls and black women are always enough. Let's get that, always. So don't get it confused. Don't let his ego push your ego down. No, we're not doing that. We're not. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe women, but black women specifically, don't always have to be strong. Because, that's the whole thing. Black women are the strong. But, we can show our soft and emotional side. I have no problem with that. And I had no problem with AD showing that. But that does not mean be weak, lack confidence, and have low self-esteem. No, ma'am. That does not mean those two totally different things. So let's not get it confused. We are not raising those type of girls, and they should not see that side of you. ever. So I just felt like they did not need to see that. They did not need to be there. They need to be somewhere eating some snacks. That's how I felt. And many people probably didn't notice that scene, but I noticed it because that matters. Like, scenes like that matter. And situations like that matter when little girls are around it. Like, they're going to remember that. And it's on TV, so that too. So that whole scene just showed me that 80 just lacks confidence and has major insecurity problems, because Clay sat there in her face with a straight face and told her he was the problem. He literally basically told her, I am the problem. It's me, not you. And she still refused to believe it and put all the blame on herself. And I hate that for her. Again, I am not going to take away the fact that she was hurt and the emotions was spiraling. But after that entire ordeal, she should have been crying her eyes out saying, I loved him and I wanted it to work, but he's going to miss out on this. Not that I'm not good enough or why I'm never enough, but you're going to miss this because I'm all enough. I'm all that you ever need. That's what she should have been saying. This was her time to pull a Jessica and tell that he was going to need an EpiPen. If you ask me, I would have rather heard her say that than she wasn't enough for him, because that really saddened me. I just need AD to really watch this show and listen to everything she was saying, because it's like she was very self-aware of her actions and her thoughts, yet she fight against them. It's crazy. Literally in the first episode, she said, if I see red flags, if I see red flags, I just paint my nails red and keep going. And now in this last episode, she talks about how she keeps carrying men in relationships and it's never enough. Well, boom, that's the problem right there. You are doing all the work. You are doing the lifting. You are doing so much that you're not noticing that they aren't doing anything at all, or they aren't pulling enough weight, and it gets to a point where they leave you for that and they go on by their merry way, all free and willy-nitty, unscathed and untouched, while you hurt, use, and abuse. And at some point, something has to give. Something really has to give. You are so much more than that, and it will only, things will only change once you change. I can't even say once you make the realization that's what's happening, because you already know it. That was the first thing. That was our introduction to you, so you know it. So you have to do better. You got to. But moving on from AD and getting back to Clay, I was in total shock when his dad was talking and giving advice after the situation, talking about you got to do whatever makes Clay happy. And that's the problem right there. He was so busy focusing on Clay, that he didn't acknowledge that he was in a relationship and has to think about his partner as well. But hearing that from his daddy was so on brand, since we know so much about his dad's demons and playing in his mother's face. So that whole conversation was a joke. A comedian couldn't have wrote it better. And that's so disappointing, because we need more moments of Black fathers and sons having real and tough conversations about relationships. But both of them are some bull, and we did not need that on our screens. Like, we didn't need that, like, at all. Like, at all. He was literally the worst person to get advice from, if you ask me. And I know some people may say he is actually the best person because he went through it, but who's to say his dad finally got his act together or came out a better man after all those years of cheating on his wife? And hell, after that one-on-one conversation we seen with the daddy and the mama, it seems like he's still a damn bull, if you ask me. Oh, and why does the mama always bring up the fact that her and his dad was together for 24 years? Like, what is that about? I mean, she can use it as an example of what not to do, but it seems like she tries to use it as a here's how we did it point, and that is just not it, mama. I'm sorry. But what I will say though is the mama and daddy conversation was so real and needed. And I can tell that she understands her son, and in a way she sympathizes with him, but also she was letting the dad know he learned all this behavior from you and he needs help breaking it, but you basically can't be the one to help him. I feel like that's what she was low-key trying to tell the daddy, but in her own way, and not trying to expose too much. But hell, Clay did all the exposing for her. And the fact that at the daddy's big grown old ass age had the nerves to push out those fake tears and proceed to say He didn't have anyone to guide him as an excuse on why he continued to cheat on his wife. Did nothing for me. Because even though you didn't have anyone, your son had someone. And that someone was supposed to be you, to show him better. And you failed him how others failed you. So it's just a repeated cycle. Like, I just couldn't believe, like, he was really for to go down that route. Like, yes, you didn't have nobody, but you know better. You could have done better, and you didn't. But one thing about it, Miss Mama, she was not here for it, okay? She was giving me life. And she told him, like, I forgave you, and I'm past it. But that doesn't mean we have to keep, the charades up. Like, it's time for a change. Because if he don't change, then it's just going to keep happening. And the daddy had the nerves to say, well, maybe you should tell him he needs to meet someone like you. So the mama brought up, like, well, you met me and look how you treated me. Yeah, look how you did me. So what are you trying to say? Just ate him right on up, easily. Silver, like on a golden spoon. Not even silver, golden spoon. And it's crazy because I thought you get wiser when you get older, but Pops proved that to be a lie. But the mom, she was the moment, okay? She was the moment and is the moment, and I love that for her. And I also agreed with her when she told Clay that he doesn't need to be forced to say I do. But then again, Clay knew way before he walked down that aisle, he didn't want to marry that girl, but kept up things just long enough to keep his camera time. That's how I feel. And let's call a spade a spade. He could have been ended things with AD, but he played. He played in her face, he played in our face, he played in y'all face, he played. And that's just that. Now, speaking of Clay again, why the hell did he go to talk to AD and got all kind of aggressive talking to her like she did something wrong to him? Granted, his tone could have been passion, but he was on 10, and I needed him to bring it down to a 2 because it was just a lot coming from a man that just embarrassed a woman in front of her friends, family, and entire world. The audacity is very real with him. I feel like Clay kept it more real in his solo interviews than he did with AD because he told us his relationship with AD wasn't enough, and one of the factors was him not understanding her finances, and then another factor being that he wasn't deeply in love with her. And I felt like AD deserved to know that, and not all the beating around the bush he was doing and other things he was saying to her about him, basically being half-assed if they was to get married. Clay just all over the place, and I'm tired, and he needs to stop playing in that girl face again. He could have gone back to his room, packed up his little free pastries, his little suit, and left instead of spewing out all that BS because it's just draining at this point. And I'm a firm believer that people who come on shows like this and have excuses like Clay didn't come on this for the experience, but had alternative motives. Because if you're signing up for a show like this, you know that the end goal is marriage. No one expects you to have everything in order immediately, even though you should, but I'm gonna be realistic, and no one expects you to fall deeply in love immediately, even though that would be nice. But again, we're being realistic. But that's all a part of the experience. And yes, there are some things you may have to look past and continue to build on after the marriage or after the show is over. It's really no excuse. All the excuses he was giving was BS because you knew that before you even get on the show. Like, we're in season 6. You have no excuse. The excuse that you can't have the excuse, but the excuse you gave, I'm not rolling with it. And also, the finance thing is crazy to me because that's a conversation you and AD should have been having, and not always talking about how your dad was cheating, so you feel like you're gonna cheat on her. Like, that was mediocre. Y'all should have been talking about money if you felt like that was a big issue for you. And I believe that Clay didn't have those tough conversations with AD because he didn't want her. And that's just how I feel. Nothing more, nothing less. That's it. He didn't want her. Because if it's money you're worried about, you could have had her sign a prenup. So both of y'all feel safe. Both parties feel safe at the end of the day. If you felt like you needed therapy, one, you should have went to therapy before coming on the show. But since you didn't, and now that you're here, I feel like you could have still married her and went to therapy, 1, by yourself, and 2, with her. Y'all could have went to couples therapy. Like, everything he was saying, again, was BS, and it was excuses, and they were all null and void. I don't care. I do not care. And also, too, Love is Blind needs to bring in the therapist aspect to the show, similar to how Married at First Sight does, because it will help those couples, bring up tough topics and conversations they may be avoiding to help them get to an answer quicker, other than them waiting it out on the show. Because baby, Chelsea and Jimmy situation was wild to me. Only for the simple fact that Jimmy should have been ended things with Chelsea. But this sick man took her on an amazing date just to break things off with her. Like, that was the wildest ever to me. I'm not mad at the breakup. I'm just mad that he too played in that girl's face, especially knowing how sensitive she is. Lord Jesus, I just know that girl cried for damn near this whole year. And she probably started back crying again after the show aired. Like, I just know it, because she's very, like, if AD insecure, I don't know what Miss Chelsea is. She's something else. She got to work on that, so she needs therapy. And I feel like if a therapist was on this show, I feel like maybe a therapist could have helped them to talk things out better. Like, I don't know, that's just my personal thoughts. But it didn't work out. And we just had to move on from them. Like, it is what it is. I honestly, I had faith in them. But then again, it's Chelsea. Like, I thought Jimmy was going to be the problem. Chelsea, baby, I'm sorry. It was you. It was you, baby. I'm sorry. Now, Amy and Johnny were the only two that made it to the altar and said I do to each other. And I can't lie. I hope for the best, but I fear their relationship because we really didn't see them go through anything heavy. So I fear it's going to hit hard during their marriage. But I have faith they would get through it. But I guess we will see at the reunion because it's been a year. So we shall see what happened. Oh, and let me end off by saying this. The editing of this episode was low-key horrible because after we got through AD and Clay situation, I feel like that should have been the end of them. Like, we were tired. Like, it felt like we seen an hour of their mess. So we were tired. So it was time for us to finally enjoy some type of happiness, and that was with Amy and Johnny. Granted, we didn't really care about them because they was low-key boring. Like, they gave us nothing. But I'm happy for them. They gave us nothing. They was boring. But still, they got married. So y'all should have let us enjoy their happiness because they deserve their time. But to randomly put in a clip of AD and Clay lying, talking about how he wants to be married right after we were all jumping for joy and happy about Amy and Johnny was just wrong. Seeing him and hearing him talk right after that was just like, boy, go home, please. Go home, Roger, and get out of those people's barn, please. But enough of my rambling. Y'all already know what to do. Like this video and show your girl some love. Drop a comment below and let's discuss your thoughts on this episode. And last but certainly not least, subscribe and join the Queen of Baby. Bye.